answered. I know in Germany but there is much to criticize, but okay, I will answer you with a simple counter question. Why do you criticize Europe, which nonetheless is serially accepting migrants? 10,000 people are passing daily through Slovenia. Why are we not talking about Qatar, about Saudi Arabia, and so on? What is beneath this, your point of right to asylum? It practically means, and I know it sounds so noble, but let's talk frankly. The underlying idea is everyone can come to Europe and demand to be instantly a citizen, because nobody really checks asylum rights and so on. The idea is Europe should simply open borders. Up to a point, I agree with it. You know why not? For example, I was in Turkey when, you know, they had a referendum in Switzerland prohibiting, how to call it, minarets in mosques. And the hypocrisy, West, horrible, you should judge it. But then I learned that in Turkey, you are not even allowed to build other religious objects then. If you ask me frankly, yes, the right to asylum, but now I know I'll be again accused of racism and so on and so on. But I think it's totally crazy and provocative to treat the right of asylum in this way that, okay, millions can come here, stop. No. First, it has to be organized, I claim. And it can be organized. Why not? Why not organize it? I'm excluding no one, but why not organize it? Why? This is so humiliating. 21st century and tens of thousands of people are walking through there. But don't, you say, let's not talk about Saudi Arabia and so on and so on. Okay, then I ask you, but isn't it symptomatic that you are now criticizing Germany, which, in spite of all criticism and so on, showed relatively the most openness. You see, again, this is the superego logic. You criticize a country which was doing relatively the best here. Criticize England, criticize France, criticize them, and so on. And also, I don't accept what you are saying, like, we don't want to go to Saudi Arabia. You prefer us. Yes, Europe should bring in a couple of millions of refugees, no problem for me, but in an organized way with clear rules. This I see as the only way to prevent, because you said you squeezed out of democracy. What do you want then? The right-wingers to win? Because if it goes on like this, the greatest victim will be the refugees. I mean, and I think one should be very precisely, when you are telling me, but there are negligible, there are also rapes here, and so on, then okay, then there is no problem. You know, it's a little bit strange when you criticize me for wanting to limit something that at the same time you claim it's marginal and doesn't exist practically, and so on and so on. If it doesn't exist, okay, what's the problem? I think if you ask me, and my God, I was in Arab countries, you know, it's so strange that you expect from Europe this multicultural openness, but these are exactly the parts of the world which are probably at this point among the most open. United States is already less open, I claim, and so on. It's much greater ideological pressure. Not to mention about all those so much celebrated Latino American countries. My God, they have quite a lot of racism of their own. Not to mention, I know what I'm saying now, if you want to see real everyday racism, sorry, go to China. I saw incredible scenes there of how the Han majority, they treat like dog the non-Han people. Like I was in a bookstore buying books, ahead of me, there was obviously a non-Han Chinese, some Tibetan, Uruguay, I don't know what. And the lady behind the cashier simply made a sign to me, you know, like, fuck this guy, come ahead, and so on. So much everyday racism here. But I think, sorry, how to put it, different cultures, ways of life are a very delicate fact. And all I'm saying is that the simple, pure multiculturalist formula, everything comes, they just retain their own culture, absolutely doesn't work. You need some basic rules shared by all. The same rules for all. I totally subscribe to this.